Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. And in this video, we're going to talk about what was made headlines yesterday that uh, the person who's at the forefront of the White House unveils extreme heat plan, but doesn't declare climate emergency. That's The Guardian. This was covered everywhere. This is CNBC. Announces a new climate change program, but no emergency declaration. Politico, the same thing. Then we have Reuters. Biden stops short of declaring emergency, takes steps on wind power. Our friends over there at the Washington Post, Bezos blog. Biden eyes climate emergency declaration as Democrats demand swift action. Now that's pretty funny because I can assure you, as we go through this, the people that are demanding swift action, like this man and the person who's running the White House in his first two White House occupations, refused the light years best environmental education and agenda the world needs that would have solved our problems decades ago had anybody allowed solutions since November '93. And that includes Congress. Congress won't allow solutions either. Everybody that's mentioned in these articles, the Sunrise Movement, yeah, the congressional players just can't be bothered. It's not like I haven't tried contacting them. What solutions? What? No, no, no. Oh my God, we just talked about we need solutions and someday. And yeah, we're going to declare an emergency because Congress can't act. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, there was a poll today that 1% of people in America believe that the climate emergency is actually a top priority, especially with financial situations across this country and inventory situations and the shortage of everything from first responders responding to medical appointments and well, we just don't have the equipment and we can't put a bandage on, we don't have any, it's getting scary around here. But right here today, oh, Joe was out. He is serious about this. Now this article here in the Guardian, it kind of had the most information. Um, yeah, so he pushed billions of dollars to U.S. City to help them cope better with extreme heat. Yeah, we're going to be paying for people's air conditionings because of extreme heat. Yeah. Now, an interesting thing about that is that right here, in Mike Adams' situation update for today, he showed Raheem Substack, and this showed temperatures from 1995 and July 2020. Well, this map doesn't show the temperatures, but they said the temperatures are the same. And look at the difference of colors. Okay, here it's just like, oh yeah, the sun's shining, it's warm, it's summer, and here, oh my God, it's frying. It's just all red. It's danger, danger. Will Rogers, danger. And these figures are 1995 to 2022, and then they show the pictures. This is still the 95 2022. Now this one they show the temperatures on where it's all red and it's the same temperatures: 22, 23, 22, 25, 25, 23, 24, 21, 17, 19. There's an 18 here. 19, 20, 20, 22, 23, 25, 22. In some respects it's a little lower here. Yet they show it as there's a huge difference. And there's actually not. Here's another one from 2009 to 2019. 24, 34, 36, 31. You got 20, 22, 26, 30, 32, 28, 30, 28, 31, 34, 33, 31. This has a 36 and a 34. These are somewhat comparable. There's not a 36 or a 34. There's one 34 down here. But, somewhat comparable. But look at before. In 2009, it was just a sunny day. And today, you're roasting. So yeah, that was something, about the brainwashing that these people that are declaring emergencies are out there pushing. I mean, this is weather that's out there pushing, but I think anybody that's informed knows that the weather follows its marching orders, and they do what they're told to, and most everything is controlled these days. But as president, Biden has a responsibility to act with urgency and resolve when our nation faces clear and present danger. Oh, okay. There's only a gazillion dangers going on that he causes, but the climate change is one. Well, that would be interesting because, as I said, since Barack's first White House occupation, they have refused real solutions ending our disposable society. Do you know if we weren't transporting disposables and their packaging and their transportation packaging and all of their ingredients and all of the ingredients for the manufacturing of the packaging and transportation packaging and garbage bags that they'll be thrown into, the 24/7 cycle of that is just beyond abusive. That in itself would have solved our problems. Getting people to turn off 40% of unused electricity would have solved our problems. Hemp would have solved our problems. We would have solved our problems by now. So the Biden, administration, run by Barack and friends, and they have caused this problem as much as Al Gore has, as much as the United Nations and every other person, which is every environmental voice out there who has prevented the solutions the world needs since November of '93, including Congress. Okay, but now they're going to act with urgency and resolve. Oh, because our nation faces a danger, according to them, that they caused, but they never mention that part of that. Yeah, funny how that happens. So, it says Joe Manchin, he, did the blow last week when he didn't go along with what all the Democrats in Congress wanted. And Biden says that climate change is literally an existential threat to our nation and the world. So my message today is this: since Congress is not acting as it should, and these guys here are, but we're not getting many Republican votes, this is an emergency, and I will look at it that way, an emergency that he created. Along with all of his environmental funds. Gina McCarthy, who's his climate advisor. John Kerry, who's his climate advisor. Jay Inslee, who Gina did that, I don't know, that webinar thing they had that night. I did a video about it with Gore, pushing Jay as a hero. Jay is not. Okay, nobody they associate with is. But right, he's Biden's actions include 2.3 billion in funding to help communities prepare for heat waves, droughts, floods, and new guidance that allows federal government to help provide cooling centers and air conditioning, and new planned offshore wind energy leases for the Gulf of Mexico. There are millions of people suffering from extreme heat at home, so my team is working with states to deploy 385 million right now. For the first time, states will be able to use federal funds, taxpayer dollars, actually US debt, because America doesn't have any money, to pay for air conditioners in homes. Set up community cooling centers in schools where people can get through these extreme heat crises, which, according to Rahim, isn't really a crisis at all. But American tax dollars are going to be paying for a few other Americans to have air conditioning. That is certainly not America. That is absolute. And where are they going to get this electricity? They're shutting down the coal plants. They don't have enough clean energy. There isn't clean energy out there. They don't have clean energy. They don't have enough energy even with the fossil fuels that they have to produce for today's energy needs. Never mind if you're adding electric vehicles. Never mind if you're going to start paying for people's air conditionings. Okay, that 385 million. Oh, okay, that's going to be that 2 billion, and this 2 billion is going to go to 20 probably. I mean, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. The federal government does not pay people's bill, but of course they do. I mean, this will probably go to illegals and invaders, not Americans. It's The stakes of inaction on the climate crisis have been made starkly apparent this week, with more than 100 million Americans in the grip of a dangerous heat wave that has pushed temperatures as high as 115 Fahrenheit in parts of the countries. I bet the Southwest has experienced temperatures like that for a long time. So, climate campaigners hope Biden would declare a climate state of emergency. Raggedy Ann, as I call her, the press secretary, said that wouldn't happen on Wednesday, but the option is still on the table. So, yeah, people Biden must declare an emergency. No, you know what we need to do. The clock is rapidly ticking towards inevitable, irreversible climate catastrophe. There is no more time to lose. Yet, is Biden going to do actual real solutions that would provide actual real results right now? No. What he's talking about doing is putting up some wind farms and, something that's going to, have benefits potentially years to decades in the future. But the environmental educator agenda is right now. Right now. These are achievable, to be achieved at an individual level, immediately, at a societal level. It could be converted, stadium concessions, fast food eateries. There's so much that could be converted within a year in doing good. But is that going to happen? No. And how are we going to know that that's not going to happen? Well, here we are. So I went to whitehouse.gov and their contact page, and of course, we hate America so much, Espanol, because even Project Veritas, even Mike Adams, who rages against the invasion, is having an Espanol part of Brighteon, and he's proud of it. These people, they can't differentiate that all the people they're catering to are the illegals and the invaders, or the descendants of illegals and invaders, not immigrants. Okay, so, but of course, this White House hating America so much, yes, of course, we have that there. And then right here, okay, the White House communication form. Oh, you can select your pronoun. Yeah, isn't that? And now they have a very small selection of pronouns, but this is actually an option here. Just the absurdity. This is not my name and my address, and believe me, the White House knows where I'm at. So I say, if Barack is serious about climate change in his third White House stunt, then Barack needs to stop preventing the solutions the world needs, like he has since his first presidential campaign, and all environmental voices have since November '93. That includes Gore, Clinton's Congress, Climate Caucus, Mr. B.S. Bernie Sanders, Oasis Crazy, equal to AOC, White House, Murky, Markley, McKibben, the Youth and the Youth Climate Case, Kennedy, etc., etc., etc. The environmental educator would have solved our problems long ago, so stop preventing real, needed, sensible solutions. Environmentaleducator.org. And there we go. We just sent that. They thanked me for my submission. And you can be sure the only response I might get is Barack might start turning my computer on in the middle of the night again, which is, I can assure you, unpleasant, scary, intimidating. And ask Cheryl Atkinson. She could probably have a few other words, and it truly is. Okay. So, in this article here, I think, oh, right, Politico, they of course bring the Sunrise movement into it, and the youth-led environmental group who has been preventing, not caring about actual real solutions since the day they started. They're it's probable the administration would take steps in the amid of the wildfires raging across the U.S., the record heat in Europe, and a legislative climate deal that was just destroyed. But, it's kind of a perfect storm, no pun intended, to do something that's very visible form of leadership that meets people where they're at in terms of feeling the crisis, she said. Well, you know what? The Sunrise Movement, too, is not doing the world any good preventing the solutions the world needs. Neither is every congressperson that is talked about in these articles. Right here, Jeff Merkley from Oregon. You can be sure I've contacted him. And then you have Ed Markey from Massachusetts. I've contacted him. Right here, Jeff Merkley again, and Mr. B.S. Bernie Sanders. Of course, we're joined by 7 Democratic legislators in an effort to urge Biden on Wednesday to immediately declare a climate emergency. Yeah, oh, okay. Right, Mr. B.S. Bernie Sanders himself has been refusing the solution since Tom Hartman and uh, oh, 20, yeah, I don't know. It escapes my head today. A good 10 or so years. Okay. And, yeah, Mr. B.S. Bernie Sanders, he's great at out there just, making a spectacle of himself, but actually using his voice to get real solutions implemented. No, no. One of these articles has that White House guy that's in Congress, but uh, Biden says my actions will create jobs, improve our energy security, bolster domestic manufacturing and supply chains, protect us from oil and gas price hikes in the future, and address climate change. I will not back down. The opportunity to create jobs and build a clean energy future is too important to relent. Oh, okay. How about ending our disposable society? How about getting people to just act responsibly and even inputting solar and wind into their homes right now today simply by hanging clothes to dry? Okay. They never ask you to stop using electricity, to really think about, do you need that electrical appliance? Could you do something better? And don't do disposable and getting hemp. That right there. You know how many jobs that would create? And this would put us on a true environmental path. It can do everything, including power vehicles, power planes. Okay? But none of them will do it. But they're all out here yapping about it, and Mike here in his health ranger report tonight, he's out there, the climate crazies, the climate lunatics is what he called them in this health ranger report, and just putting them down, putting them down, putting them down. They are kind of out there. However, this isn't out there. And if Mike would just use his voice and actually, let people know that all these people are frauds and that they've prevented like real solutions that would actually do real good might be getting done. If Alex Jones had used his voice for a decade or more now, if Project Veritas would use their voice, this would change too. But they won't. So this is the only place you're going to get this truth, people. So stay tuned.